Hello everyone, good morning and welcome back to the Glassman's World. It is Sunday, I believe it is December 1st, am I correct on that? Holy, is it really December 1st? It is December 1st already, guys. Does that mean that we do the 12 days of Christmas now, or does that start on December 12th? Do we do the 12 days of Christmas, December 12th to the 24th? I believe that's when we do the 12 days of Christmas.
Hopefully we don't start it now.
Or else I'm going to be way behind. So good morning everyone. We're about to get started. Gonna make some more mushroom pendants. I have to I got to replace all the ones that I've sold recently. A lot of people have actually hit me up on getting these mushrooms in bulk for Christmas gifts to resell in their shops. So I got some new accounts going, and also going to be shipping them out to a couple people too. So looks like people are seeing what I'm offering out there. It's getting out there a little bit better. Using YouTube here and promoting myself, I think is doing a lot of help to get the word out.
So good morning and welcome.
Appreciate you coming in and watching. I'm just getting started here. I'm gonna get our table all set up and ready. So this is my daily view right here. This is my actual office view. I know sometimes I'm doing the yard work and I say, hey, check out my office view of the day, and it's like beautiful view of the mountains and stuff like that. But this is basically my daily office view right here, out the back window of our place, looking over the apartment right there. There's basically an apartment right next to us. So we don't really have much of a backyard or any sort of a backyard. Kind of like a back stoop. Kind of like a little chill area. All right, let's bring you guys down and into the torch here. And let's get things going. Oh, something amazing actually. This is really cool. I want to show these off. I definitely got to share this. So for Thanksgiving the other day, we went over to go visit with my aunt and the rest of the family, my cousins and stuff, which was really nice. You know, our family, we used to have really large gatherings all the time, and my aunt used to always have us there at her place, even if it was a small little spot. They still had people gather and come and hang out, and that was really cool. And nowadays, you know, she has a bigger home, and it's a lot more room, and still, you know, the family still comes around and hangs out. It's a beautiful thing. So I need to check out and see what we've got as far as inventory right here. Is actually I've sold quite a bit in the last week or so, which is good for me. But there's people who are waiting on meeting up with me right now, and I'm gonna have to make some up real quick. So that's why we're here on the torch right now. Gonna work for the next hour or so, make as many as we possibly can. But I already tied some of these up and got some out last week, and now I gotta see what we have left over to see how many more of these we need to make for the next batch of 50, and then we'll just make more. We'll make more 50 and more 50. So yeah, I need to just see, do we have all the yellows, all the reds, all the oranges, or did I do like maybe two of each of those colors, two here, two there, to get them a variety. well, it looks like we got all the reds here. Okay, so there's 10, there's 15. We got all the yellows. Let's see if we got all the whites too. Got a couple orange. And I believe that's it. The rest of these are the spirals. The spiral drops here. These ones I do for $10 each. 3 for $20 all the time, all day. I didn't really do a Black Friday special. I don't know. I'm not gonna give into all that. Alright, but so we've got a few there. That makes another 5. If we make 2 more orange, then we'll have 2 orange or 5 orange total. So let's do that. We'll make 2 more whites, and then we can make some of these here. But there's 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. So we're halfway there, guys. So let's bust these out. Let's make some more. And pretty much we're just gonna make as many as we possibly can. I should get another can, an empty can. I don't know if I have an empty can here. No, that's colors. Alright, whatever. We'll just put them all in that can. Okay, so we got yellow. I got the reds. And then we'll finish up these. And we got a couple of the dark multis here. Alright. Let's bust out some orange real quick. Is it this orange? Yeah. Alright, so how you guys been? How you doing? I hope that your Thanksgiving was really good and drama-free. Ours was awesome. We actually cooked Thanksgiving dinner again on Friday. I don't know if you guys were able to join me on my live stream yet, but you can go back and watch the live stream of me cooking up a whole bunch of different things. The feed does cut out because for some reason my phone hasn't been charging properly. I will check and see if we are actually connected here and make sure we're charging properly. Alright, so we're going to pull a stringer here. Just melting the colored glass and then pulling a stringer, making sure we can make, usually when I pull these I try to make at least 5 at a time, but we only need 2 more orange for this batch. I try not to waste any of the color, so I pull it all the way out. Do that. A lot of people will have like a little bit of a bump and then they just pull it off, rip it off, but why waste it? Okay, let's see. We got a big piece of glass here. Perfect. Alright, we'll clean this off with the Norwex OptiCloth. Always using the Norwex OptiCloth, guys. And also using the body cloth for my hands to get rid of all the oils and stuff on the hands. Alright, let's see if we got any comments here. Anyone watching? So these are available. Here, let's just post these. Oops. What did I do? Oh. Okay. So these glass mushrooms are basically available all the time for $5 each. or we do them 5 for 20. Or we can do them at let's see, so then you get one for free at that point. And then I'm gonna offer you can get 25 of them. At $4 each, which would be the same price as 5 for 20. But you get 25 of them. Or maybe I should do 30 of them. Yeah, we'll do 30. $34 100. So then that's basically what? $3.33 each, or you get 50 for 150. So that's my Black Friday special, pretty much right there. So if you want to purchase these, just message me, comment below, and we can figure out how that works. But good morning, everyone, and thanks for tuning in. All right, let's get started here. Oh, I'm all looking for the glass. It's in my lap. All right, so a quick how-to on how to make these mushroom pendants. Simply just get the rod molten. You put the glass into the fire there. Start to get that white hot and molten, and you slowly gather it. It'll round up, and then you slowly add a little bit more, introduce a little bit more of the rod into the flame until you get the whole entire tip all white hot. So right now we're at a point where only the very, very little tip is hot. So now we need to round that whole area. So now we're going to heat up like basically a ½ inch of that. We went from like a ½ inch of the tip to now heating up like a whole ½ inch of it. And then this will be molten on the tip. We're going to force the colored glass, that orange stringer of glass, into the molten. It's going to go through like butter. It's going to hit the part that's solid behind the molten, have nowhere to go, and start to spread out. And the more I push it in, the more the mushroom cap forms and gets bigger and bigger. And I only have a little bit of time. I only got like maybe, 3 seconds, 5 seconds of pushing before it solidifies and gets too hard. And then I won't have any, then I can break the glass. So I have to be real careful and gentle, but also forceful. All right, so we get this all molten here. Let me move this out of the way. That's completely in the way right there. And then I always heat up just the tip of the colors to help it spread it out. Get right into the center there. Start to push it in directly in the center. It starts to hit that wall, has nowhere to go. And the more you push, the more that mushroom cap forms. Flame cut it, get rid of that color. And you got a little piece of color glass sticking out right there and some air. We got to melt that all out. Get that air bubble out of there. There's like a pocket of air from forcing the color glass in there. So now we have to melt all the clear glass, starting from where the cap is. That's pretty much been engulfed into the clear glass. And then underneath it is where the air pocket forms, and we want to start melting it from that point. Pinch the air out. Let the clear glass fall down onto the colored stringer in there. So it just slowly just forces the air bubble out as the clear glass collapses onto the color inside of there. And that's the magic of how you get the mushroom pendants in there. And then you just melt the very end, the tip of it. Get that all rounded. Once you get all the air out, then you gotta make the colored stringer smooth with the clear. Nice and round, just like that. Here, let's bring you guys a little bit forward here. All right, and then we get the punchy here, which is basically just a piece of glass that we use to get the tip molten and basically do like a tack weld, just to adhere it to that, but it will snap off because we didn't melt them or fuse them together. So that can easily just come apart now. So as I'm making this, I have to be real gentle not to allow it to snap off. And you just get that molten, start to pull it, figure out where you want that front to be, loop it around, let it solidify a little bit, so then you can go in there and bend it properly without pinching it into itself. And you get your reamer, which is a carbon graphite pointy, almost like a pencil looking device here. And that's a shaping tool to help to touch the molten glass, move it around, touch it, shape it, keep the hole open on the loop here. I'll let the torch do a lot of the work with melting it and shaping it down. And that's pretty much done right there. So there's the loop, mushroom, all done. Alright, there's a quick tutorial. We're just going to bust these out now. So it's Sunday. I know a lot of people are going to church today. I know a lot of people, if they're not in church, they're out running errands or doing things, maybe even just staying home. Some people spend Sundays just cleaning their home, while others spend Sundays watching football, hanging out. Some people just utilize it as a day off. I pretty much don't take any days off. I continuously work around the clock. I'll be doing some more yard work tomorrow and then back on the torch whenever I can get on the torch. Any day, every day is a torch day for me. Just like any day, every day is a day for tacos, right? Taco, not just Taco Tuesday, it's taco every day. There's like a little dirty line there. I'm gonna clean that up. All right, and we're just gonna do the same thing here. So at some point I'll start to get to a rhythm here, or I'll just start busting these out pretty quickly. We're 21 minutes in, and I've only made one so far, but let's see. Now that we're watching the clock, let's see how fast we can start making these individually. I'm having some issues with my arm this morning. Fingers are already going numb. This is no fun. Trying to do the work of a glass blower while your fingers are going numb. Not cool. I just gotta try to get my stretches in when I can. I don't know if I just slept wrong or what's going on, but my fingers are really numb today. Maybe it's just because the rod is so big, starting with the 2-foot rod. Got too much weight for me. I have to try to get a stretch in, so I got to move my head over. It's my right arm, my right rotator cuff that's got an injury, so I have to bend my head over to the left side and kind of stretch out that whole area there. And all my fingers are going numb right now. What's interesting is now my fingers, instead of going numb starting from the pinky and then the ring finger and then going to the middle and the index, now my fingers are just, it's the index and the thumb. It's more like the carpal tunnel than the cubital tunnel syndrome that I'm dealing with right here. Dang. This always slows me down. Okay, that feels good though. I got that stretch in and my fingers came back. They're not all numb like they just were. So interesting. Now just holding it like this, I can feel it already starting to try to go numb. As soon as I lift my arm up, I can feel that the tenseness, the tightening by my elbow, the back of my arm, and up in my shoulder. What did I do yesterday? Was it just from all the cooking? That's interesting. My fingers are numb again. We just do the best we can with what we got. Get that stretch in again real quick. I'm pointing my hand downward while stretching to the left side, getting that tightness out on the right side of my neck and my shoulder, my deltoid, which leads to the rotator cuff there. I got to stretch out like the trapezius and the deltoid muscles, which are like your shoulder muscles and the top of your shoulder and by your neck, and then where your arm is at your shoulder. All right, so there's the 2 orange. So now we can get making the 2 white. I already lost count how many we had. I think we had 25, right? So then this means that's 30. All right, nice. So now we got 30 right there. We'll just put those right next to them, but not directly on them because then they could crack from the heat. So I've been cooking for days and days ever since Thanksgiving. Started making some pies on Thanksgiving the night before, actually, or maybe, yeah, we started cooking it the night before, making those tamales and the cupcakes. And then on Thanksgiving, we put all that together. And then the next day, Friday, we did our full-on Thanksgiving dinner, which was really nice. Hey, good morning. What's going on? How's Santa Fe treating you today? You guys been getting any snow? I know like up north it's a lot different. And you guys aren't really that far up north compared to Albuquerque, but good morning, good morning. The food looks great. Awesome. I'm still cooking right now. It smells so good. So I'm going to tell you the truth. Them tamale cupcakes, they looked amazing, right? Smelled amazing. Put all that time, energy, effort into cooking that meat overnight, getting all that red chile into it and everything, right? Got it all put together. Pulled it out of the oven, came out nice. It was not even dry, still nice and moist and delicious, except the masa that I had was old and stale. So I tasted it right away on that first bite. I was like, dang it, I'm going to have to redo these now. So they're sitting there on the table like if anyone wants one, but it's going to taste stale. And it was sad. All of those gone to waste. So I'm making some meat right now in the red chile. We got it all just cooking it's been cooking for over 12 hours now. I started it yesterday morning. So it's 24 hours now it's been cooking. I'm known for making a 3-day roast where I'll just cook the meat for 3 days until all the juice has completely been cooked into the meat and evaporated out. So, oh, you had some snow last week, huh? It's crazy how you get snow, but I bet you got snow up in the mountains still. Santa Fe is actually, that's one of the only mountains I've ever snowboarded. I'm a snowboarder, but I can't afford to go all the time, and so it's been a long time since I've gone. But if I put strap my feet in on a board, I'll be back in motion again. Except, I'm older these days. I'm pushing 50. I don't move around as good as I used to. So I'm sure that first day would be painful, but I get some good runs in, I'm sure. Oh yeah. So this morning I went in there and I just grabbed like the big old fork, like the two-pronged fork, and I just like went right into it and just spun it, and it just like came apart like butter. I was like, okay, it's good. We just got to cook all that juice down and get all the chile in there. So I got to make what two more of these white ones, and then we got another 5. So then that'll bring us to 35. So yeah, it was really good. I love to cook. That's why I do cooking with the Glassman segments here on YouTube as well, on the Glassman's World. And I like to share different ways on how I cook, because I'm an experimental cook or experimental chef. I like to try out new things, different things. I'm a wannabe vegetarian. My wife and um, my wife and our kids, they eat meat more than I do. So I've been cooking meat again. I did go vegetarian for a while. For a few years back, gosh, like almost 10 years ago, I quit all kinds of things. I went celibate. I quit eating meat. I quit drinking. Um, just went like to a whole different lifestyle change. Got into Krishna consciousness, and started learning about Vedic knowledge, Vedic scriptures, and things like that. Orthodox Hinduism, and learning about the different gurus, the lineage that's come down ever since Krishna, Vishnu, and so I have learned a lot of Ayurvedic cooking, and I've learned how to cook without meats. But when you're married to someone who is a carnivore, um, I definitely have gotten her into eating a lot more vegetarian style cooking, but I couldn't just eliminate all the meat from her diet, and so there's compromise in relationships and things like that, and so it's, for me, it's my own little personal battle. That's all it is. But I love to eat fruit. I'm more of like a fruitarian, and I don't have my teeth like I used to, but when I did have a lot of teeth, I used to love to eat salad. I never thought about that. Like, when you lose your teeth, you're not going to be able to eat lettuce and greens and stuff like that as well. I didn't realize that. Like, chop it up. The same here. You like new recipes, trying to eat less meat. I feel better when I was more fruits and veggies, right? And more water. Water is life. Water is life. Every drop counts. My saying is, we are, when you look at the molecular structure of us, right? On a cellular level, we are 90% water on our cells, and then our body, our material matter being, is like 60 to 90% water, mostly like about 75% water, depending on how much water you consume, right? And also depending on where you live, the regions and things like that. People who are in a more moist regions, they have a lot more water content in their body. Like just their air, you can tell. Like if you go somewhere that's more humid, your hair is going to have a lot more bounce and whatever, right? Compared to if you live here in the desert Southwest where everything's dry. I got friends who they live on the islands and then they come back here, they come back home, basically visit family and stuff like that. And and then they dry out. They're like, oh my gosh, I've been having to like put lotion on all day. It's like, oh, you should just use coconut oil. It's better. But yeah, so um, it all depends on where you're at, and that's how much water you have, and then how much water you consume, and then whether or not you're exerting a lot of energy to expel that water, whether you sweat a lot or not. You know, if you're active, you're riding your bike, running, jogging, doing roofing. If you're up there in the summer heat doing roofing, you're gonna need a lot more water than someone who's just sitting on their couch, just chilling, like in the Amazon forest or something. Do they have couches in the Amazon forest? So yeah, Ayurvedic cooking is awesome. I highly recommend a cookbook called the Vegetarian Cookbook of what is it called? Krishna's Cookbook of Vegetarian Cooking, or the Vegetarian Cookbook of Krishna. It's something like that, but it's like basically all of Krishna's favorite foods. So back when Krishna was alive, you know, 5,000, 6,000 years ago, it was like 5,000, what, 5,600 or something like that, 5,600 years ago. Um, Krishna had a lot of favorite foods and a lot of favorite meals, and he didn't eat meat, and he didn't eat things such as onions, garlic, red lentils, and red carrots. Those were also forbidden. The red lentils, the red carrots, the garlic, and the onions. I personally still use garlic. It helps, you know, I use it for the antimicrobial, antibacterial, for medicine. So adding it into the food and into the diet is good in those ways. But I also recently started getting into doing more apple cider vinegar in the morning, taking shots of apple cider vinegar, which helps out a lot with cleansing your body and getting rid of all kinds of gunk and stuff. Getting rid of like any sort of like if you got a lot of mucus filled up, or like any kind of infections, if you got any sort of like parasites, worms, things like that. Doing the apple cider vinegar really helps out. And also I learned pineapple juice during the whole lockdown for the last 2 years. You know, I've been studying a lot of medical information, reading a lot of well, I'm not reading, I'm actually having others read to me on their videos. So they read the medical journals, they give me all the medical data, and I just like can then, you know, use my own mind to discern certain information and put things together, right? And I learned about the pineapple juice and the, what is it the quinine? I think it's quinine within the pineapple juice. Or no, maybe no, the quinine that comes from the ginger ale. Um, what is it? Oh, I forget. The bromelain. That's what it is. The bromelain within the pineapple juice really does help to fight off a lot of infection. And I've seen videos where they have a petri dish with some parasites in like, I don't know, like a serum, and then they drop raw pineapple juice onto it, and it just renders those all the worms, all the parasites. It just renders them, like it just takes them out. It makes them like basically explode, and it takes them out entirely. And so we learned a lot of that stuff, you know. So food is by medicine, you know, that is definitely fact. A lot of the man-made medicines and things that they make, the pharmaceuticals, all come from, uh, they're all derived from natural natural remedies and things, and then they figure out how to synthesize them in the labs, and they're just mimicking what comes from nature, you know. But all the food is by medicine, and anything and everything we've ever needed for ourselves is here on this planet. The food, the water, but we need to have clean sources of food and clean sources of water, and not have all this tainted stuff, the glyphosate and all those different things. That's why my wife and I, we like, we do the best we can with eating real healthy, and then we try to get away from all the chemicals too, because the chemical onslaught, that's what's really hurting people. A lot of people, a lot of like vegans, vegetarians, a lot of environmentalists, they're like doing the best they can at what they know, but then they're still using bleach, still using Windex, Lysol, all this stuff. Some people maybe have converted over to like vinegar, water with baking soda and lemon juice and things like that. But even that leaves residue. And then, if you're washing your dishes with that, you're going to have the residue, which is safe, right? Vinegar with baking soda and some water, that's safe. Actually, might even help with if you're ingesting that. Just drinking a little bit of that vinegar, baking soda, and lemon juice, it would probably help to cleanse you internally as well, like the apple cider vinegar. I like to add honey and lemon to apple cider vinegar from time to time, or just do it straight up raw, which if you ain't used to that, it does burn the gut, and so I wouldn't recommend doing that right away. You kind of have to work up to that. Oh, you used to do roofing, yeah. So you drink all kinds of water and Gatorade. You know what's an awesome alternative to Gatorade is cucumber water with a little lemon or lime and some mint. Sprigs of mint just fresh in there. Don't even worry about crushing it up or breaking it up. If you do like kind of like rub it against itself or break it, like I don't know, if you like bend a like maybe just like spin the mint in your hands and release the oils, and then put it in like a bottle and add some water, add some cucumber. That is an amazing electrolyte replacement drink. The cucumber water alone is amazing, but then when you add the lemon or lime and the mint to it, it's my Gatorade. I don't drink Gatorade, Powerade, anything like that anymore. I don't drink sodas. I do get those frozen like pink lemonades or the orange juice, or the frozen juice concentrates, which that's probably the worst thing that we get in our home for drinking juice. Every once in a while, we'll get some Capri Sun or something like that. Like we got some Capri Suns from the Thanksgiving dinner at our aunt's house, and we brought a couple back with us because they had a cooler full, and like, hey, take some food, take some Cokes with you. Like, okay, you know. Oh, you love cucumber water? Add the mint and the lemon or lime. I kind of prefer lime in it. It's really good. Like what I do is I'll get a whole cucumber and like one or two limes, and then a few sprigs of mint, and then fill it up like a whole entire like 4 quarts of water, like a Kool-Aid pitcher basically, or whatever. And then you got yourself a whole bunch, put it in the fridge, and then like my daughter, she's grown up drinking that, she loves it. My son, he's 5 years old, he loves it. It's good stuff. Oh, that's true. Never thought of that about our environment and water. Yeah, it's all about like, the whole godliness is cleanliness. And even if our water isn't clean and our food isn't clean, then, we're just putting tainted stuff into our bodies, right? Like, if you're a farmer, a grower, you're going to want to have the best soil to start your seeds in, and you want to pick out the best seeds, right? Like you don't just like, oh, let me just grab whatever. Here, let's just put it into anything. Like, no, you got to amend these things. So we got to think of ourselves as nature. We are nature. You know, there's like, we're all a part of nature. So we got to think of ourselves as nature too. You know, like the planets that are floating out there, we got to think of ourselves as those planets floating within. You know, there's inner space and there's outer space, right? You guys ever seen that movie Inner Space back in the day with who's that guy? Martin Short or Steve Martin, or maybe they're both in it. All right, I need that light blue and this purple here. Here's a purple. I'll just grab this right away. So yeah, it's always like the macro and the micro. I always think of it, you know, like people would talk about, you know, we need community. We need to gather community. It's like, well, think about your body first. You got to have community happening within your own body, within your own organs and cells. You know, if you can think of your cells as like a community that builds up these neighborhoods, and then you've got these different cities or whatever, right, that are like your organs that run things together, right, then you have a whole entire infrastructure. And if you can keep that and maintain that healthy, well, then you can put that principle to your living day every single day, and then you really can understand how the macro and the micro all work together and is all one. And then you realize that we are all one. Even if we think about ourselves, we are all one. Even ourselves makes us all whole, all one, right? Even though we have millions of cells, we are all just one. Even though there's billions of people on this planet, we are all just one, right? Even though there's all kinds of planets out there, we are all just one. So even if there's a bunch of different like aliens or other different beings or whatever, we are all just one. We are all from the same creator, the same source, the same vibrational energy frequency that created us. It's all a part of nature. It's all natural. The natural frequency and energy. That's what nature is. All harmonizing and vibrating together, which forms this illusion of reality, right? We're all made up of cells that somehow are solidified together because of an electromagnetic energy that holds it together. My vibration isn't the same as this glass. If we were one and the same, this glass and I would become one, right? So it's I don't know, vibration, frequency, energy. A lot of people say when you start speaking in those terms and you start understanding those things, you really unlock a whole different level in your soul journey here on this planet right now and throughout the rest, because then you take all these memories and all this information back with you to the Akashic records, right? Same here. I used to use garlic almost daily. Apple cider vinegar is good too. It just burns. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, you don't want to do it on an empty stomach, but it's better to do it on an empty stomach. Maybe add water to it. Do a shot with some water and then add that lemon and honey to it. I also use grapefruit seed extract. Grapefruit seed extract. That's another good one. And papaya seed. People don't know about the seeds. You know, a lot of people, they use nuts. A lot of people know about the nuts, but not the seeds. Like the hemp seed, the flax seed. Yesterday we made homemade pancakes. I made my own homemade pancake mix. I don't know if I actually did a video yet on that for cooking with the Glassman, but I made my own homemade pancake mix. We used the Krusteaz gluten-free flour, mix it with like baking powder or baking soda. I don't remember which one that calls for. A little bit of sugar, a little bit of salt. Um, I don't know if there was anything else that goes into the actual pancake mix itself, but it's a lot cheaper to do that and then to make it in bulk. And this is the first time I've ever done it. I'm like, oh my gosh, I just made 4 batches for 1 bag of flour, which the 1 bag of flour costs the same as the pancake mix, which is only 2 batches of pancakes. And so I'm like, whoa, I just doubled the pancake mix batch and I didn't even use all that flour, so I can make more. I'm just like, man, I'm going to constantly do this now. We're going to have our own pancake mix all the time. We'll never run out. But yeah, I'll make a video on that soon. And so yesterday we made the pancakes, gluten-free pancakes. I always add oatmeal, which is the, it's the real, not the steel cut oats, but the real old-fashioned oats, not the quick oats, not any of the Quaker oats. We get the Bob's Red Mill old-fashioned oats. I used to buy the gluten-free ones. I don't know if there's any difference with gluten-free and old-fashioned on oats. I don't know if oats really have that much gluten on them. Although they are sprayed heavily with the glyphosate. Glyphosate? What is it? Whatever it is. Bad for you. And so, yeah, I add flaxseed and oats. And man, those things are so hearty and filling and so fluffy and delicious. Amazing pancakes. I actually had to ask my daughter. You know, she's 12 years old, so I've been cooking for her whole life, for 12 years. And pancakes are one of those things that I've always cooked. And yesterday I'm like, I had to ask her, I'm like, do you think these pancakes are like some of the best pancakes like I've ever made ever? I'm like, without, I mean, not adding blueberry, not adding strawberries or any berries or any chocolate chips or pumpkin pie mix or anything like that. Just plain old pancakes. And she's like, yeah, these ones are really good. Like, I was like, man, they came out amazing. I got it. I might even want to start selling this, start canning it or jarring it and selling pancake mix and putting flaxseed into it with the get the flaxseed in there with the oats. So then all you got to do is just add your milk, your water, your eggs, whatever you add to it. For my mix, it's 1 cup of milk, 3 tablespoons of ghee or like coconut oil or some sort of oil. I would recommend using coconut oil or ghee. If you use ghee or butter is good too, or coconut oil. It'll add that flavor to it. But you can also use olive oil or you can use peanut oil. That'd be kind of interesting. Peanut oil with some pancakes. That actually might be good. I might have to try that sometime. So yeah, I'm always cooking, trying to make things a little bit more healthier than they were. And I stopped buying the Krusteaz gluten-free buttermilk pancake mix, the pre-made mix, because my wife is dairy-free. And it's like, duh, this is made with buttermilk, guy. Like, what are you thinking? It's like, man, it's hard to cook for someone else who has allergies. It is hard to always be on top of that. Like, oh, babe, I got you this. And like, babe, it's got cheese in it. Like, oh yeah. It's like, I made sure it was gluten-free. It's like, but it's got cheese. I'm like, oh, darn. Or it's like, oh, babe, I got this. It's all dairy-free. It's like, but there's wheat in it. Or there's like some kind of wheat germ or wheat gluten or something. Like maybe it's not made with wheat flour, but it's got some sort of wheat hidden in there. And like, dang. Sorry. That's hard to do. Yeah, good to know about the pineapple and that it was so healthy. Love cucumber water. We'll try that. When I'm sick, you mince garlic, onion, and ginger mixed with honey. Yeah. Um, yeah, I don't know about adding the onion. The onion, yes. You know, one thing about onion that I've learned, and especially with being a father and trying to do more of the homeopathic and the holistic healing, you put onions on the bottom of your feet and on the bottom of your baby's feet. You just put a slice of onion. Yes, it's weird. You put it on the bottom of their feet, put a sock on it, put them to bed. They sleep with it. Onion naturally will pull bacteria and germs and things out of places and will absorb it. If you cut an onion and you put it in your refrigerator, that's gonna it's basically like a natural deodorizer, like putting baking powder in there, or the baking soda, like the Arm & Hammer. That's basically what you're doing. When you put an onion in there, you'll remove all that stuff and then just take it out, throw it away, cut it. I use onions kind of for that. We had a big old bag of onion that we were given recently from one of the free food lines, and we don't do onion. It was like, I gave away all those onions to my wife's caregiver, but I kept 3. I was like, well, maybe I'll use one for the stuffing, which I never did. I I was hard on my body when I was using. I wouldn't eat for days, right? Things would start to seem gray and blurry. When I would finally eat, it seemed like everything got its color back and could see. That's interesting. Yeah, I've been hard on my body too. You know, we all got to go through the experimental phase, right? Hopefully, we don't get stuck there permanently. That's cool. I like pancakes. I want to try making my own. They're really easy to make. Like once you figure out the recipe, and that's the thing, is I bought the Krusteaz gluten-free flour because on the back of it, it had their pancake recipe. So I just used their pancake recipe. That's all. I just put it together and jarred it up. So it's all nice and fresh in a nice mason jar. And then I wrote the recipe on the top of the lid. So it's basically 1 cup of the mix, 1 cup of milk, um, and then the oil, and 1 egg. Gotta add the egg. And if you don't want to use the egg, there's something called the chia egg, where you use the chia seeds, and you get like a tablespoon of chia seeds, and you put it in like 1 ounce of water, and you let that kind of like become gooey, and it's supposed to mimic an egg. So you can replace it with an egg. You can also use a ripe banana as an egg replacer. You can use applesauce as an egg replacer, although some of those don't make things as fluffy as others and don't work as well. Or you just use an egg, right? That's another thing too, is I'm not vegetarian because I use egg. You like Bob's Red Mill Oats? Yeah, they're good. And yeah, we've learned how to make chia pudding. It's one of my daughter's favorites. She's actually not so much into ice cream. She'd rather have popsicles, but she loves the chia pudding, which, that's amazing. It is so good. You have to try chia pudding. I don't know the ingredients off the top of my head, but it's something like 2 or 3 tablespoons of chia seeds in some milk. Let it sit for a while, add some honey to it, and it's so good. It's an amazing nutritional dessert. So yeah, we do weird stuff like that. That's why I do Cooking with the Glass Man, because then I do that. And I have that on my playlist, Cooking with the Glass Man. You can probably find the chia pudding. You could probably find the biscochitos, the cupcake tamales, things like that. I think I started Cooking with the Glassman on Facebook. So I have a page, Cooking with the Glassman, or it's actually a group, a Facebook group. And I think there's a lot more recipes and stuff there than there is on YouTube. I like coconut oil. When my girlfriend's son comes over, we gotta cook different meals without chile and no dairy. Oh my gosh, yeah. The whole no chile thing, man. There's no one in my home that eats chile really. but I'm slowly like introducing them to things like these tamales and stuff. Like, come on, guys, you can handle a little spice. But no one does green chili here in this home. And I'm just like, what? You guys, you're in New Mexico, right? Like, we're Garduños here, right? Like, come on now. What are you guys doing? Uh-oh, is my chat going away? We have a good food depot here in Santa Fe. They give a lot of good stuff. That's awesome. Yeah, we've got a spot at the Peace and Justice Center here in Albuquerque, New Mexico called the Albuquerque Center for Peace and Justice, or we call it Peace and Justice Center. And they give away food every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. All you got to do is get in line. There's no paperwork, no ID. They don't check for anything. They don't care about your financial status. They don't do any kind of income checks or anything like that. They simply just want people who can utilize free food to come on down. They know that I have a family. So every time I'm in line, I've been going there since about 2015. So almost like 10 years now I've been going. I found out that my kind of like second cousin, his father is the one who started it. So back then they started it about 13 years from that point. So that makes it what? Like 20, 25 years they've been doing this free food line. They've been going and getting free food and then just letting people come and get it. And it's been very helpful. They have a lot of good produce. They go to the good spots like Whole Foods, Trader Joe's. I don't know if they go to the co-op, La Montanita co-op, but places like that. They get some really good foods, and a lot of those artesian breads. The real nice, good specialty breads, big old loaves and stuff like that. They always have cookies and desserts and all kinds of stuff like that, sweets. It's not like a normal food line where they just give you like a big old box of stuff and they say, here you go, take it or leave it. Like in this line, you actually go through and you get to hand pick what you'd like. One item from this table, one item from that table. Once you go through the line, they let you go through again. And then at that point, on the second time around, and they're like, okay, take what you need, and they just want everyone to just grab it all, so they don't have any leftovers. But then they have a box, a food pantry in the front, so any leftovers just goes right out there for people in need throughout the rest of the week. So Peace and Justice Center, the Albuquerque Center for Peace and Justice, is an amazing organization here. Grassroots community organization that helps people out. They really do help. They got a closet with like free clothes, so people come through and they can like grab like sweaters, jackets, shirts, pants, shoes. Sometimes it's hard to find your shoe, right? It's gotta be like Cinderella. Like, oh, I wear a size 9 and these are only 11s, or these are only children's shoes, or things like that. But they do the best they can with what they got. And they also do a thing called the Peace Cafe, which I don't know if it's every Wednesday or every Thursday, but they basically feed those in need. I think from 10 to 2, and you can go down there and get a free hot meal, warm meal, whatever they have, a cup of coffee, things like that. So it's really awesome to have these community outreach programs here. When I had my vehicle, I did what I could to volunteer, and I'd take all the cardboard boxes, we'd break them down, and we'd take them to the recycling afterwards. And when our vehicle broke down about 2 years ago, geez, it's been so long not having a vehicle. Just been used to taking buses and Uber these days. But I guess, we're moving towards the realm of everyone's going to have an Uber soon, right? No one's going to be able to afford car insurance. No one's going to be able to afford car payments. I think it's the insurance that's going to really like set people back, not being able to own things and stuff like that. Sorry, my comments shut down right there, so I don't know if I've missed any comments. I think my computer went through an update. Oh, you love green chili tamales. Green chili stew with elk meat. Nice. With elk meat. Does that mean you're native, indigenous? That's awesome. It's very helpful. I agree. Yeah, the food lines are extremely helpful. You know, and then you just take what you need, take what you think you're going to get through. I used to actually, like, at the end of the day, they would have so much leftovers. A lot of people now come and take it for their compost piles or for, like, their livestock, for their goats, pigs, chickens, things like that. But before that, you know, I'd be taking a lot of food, you know, boxes and boxes of bananas, boxes and boxes of avocados, like whatever was left over. And then I would drive around and disperse it to those in need. I'd go to the different homeless camps here, and then also my father, you know, he wasn't doing so well the last few years and during COVID and things like that. And he was living in one of them little tiny ghetto, it was like a hotel converted to studio apartments. And so I'd stop over there and make sure that my father had some food, some good foods and stuff. And all of the tenants, they basically got to know that I'd show up with food. So they'd see my vehicle out there and they'd come out and come grab some food. Or my father would just go knock on his neighbor's doors and let them know, hey, we got the food here. And then they'd come and grab some stuff. And that was really cool. That was nice. It felt good to be able to get out that food to those who didn't know about the food line. You know, you know, you can repeat to them over and over and over, hey, every Saturday, 9 a.m., you can tell people until you're blue in the face, and they just ain't going to remember. Whether or not they got some sort of an issue, addiction, or whatever, even people who, you know, that my friends, they're like, hey, when's that line again? It's like, it's every Saturday, 9 a.m. I tell them all the time, you know, and they just forget about it. Or they're like, oh, every time I wake up, it's already past 9 o'clock. It's like, well, if it's important enough for you, you would set an alarm for it. You know, I'm up every morning before the sun, so I don't have to worry about putting an alarm on really. But yeah, it's something like I know every day, I don't take a day off. Like I said in the beginning of this video, I never take a day off. It's Sunday, and I'm here working. I got to get 50 of these made because I think I'm gonna be meeting up with someone today, and be selling some glass. You know, and instead of going and vending, which oh man, it is a beautiful day out, but I bet you it's really cold. I don't know if the crowds have been coming out to the market where we've been vending over there in Nob Hill in Albuquerque because it's been so cold lately. People are scared to layer up and go out. It's a beautiful day right now. So nice. It's just cold. People don't wear earmuffs anymore or what? It'd be all triple layering, man. I love the winter. Then I bust out. I get to double up my hoodies. I'm glad there are these outreach programs. They open a cafe library for victims of human. Oh man, I don't know if we even can say those kind of things here, but that is awesome. Much love and blessing to her for helping out. Yeah, people just constantly forget, right? It's not important enough. So they like to just barely get by when they see it. They're like, oh, there's an option. But there might be some kind of hindrance, a personal hindrance, like maybe they don't want to feel like they're one of them, right? Or something like that. It's like we're all going through it. We're all putting through the ringer right now and through the struggle. So if there's an outreach program that says, hey, you don't have to be so indigent, right? If you can just utilize this, come and get it, right? It's awesome. And then, you know, if you feel bad, like, oh, I don't want to take from those who really need, it's like I said, there's so much leftovers. They need people to take it away, or it just goes to compost, or it goes to the livestock. and we're feeding animals and not humans at that point. You know, so we need more people to come through at this point. I tell people all the time, I post it up on YouTube. I do videos like this talking about it. I am posting it up on nextdoor.com. I'm always just constantly trying to just share this information out to help others. You know, people are probably like tired of my social media posts and stuff. But it is what it is. I'm just trying to help the community, just sharing knowledge and information. Oh, I hear my son up. I think my son and daughter are up talking to each other right now. So let's see if I can get a couple more of these done. If I can get 50 of these made before I can have to start doing breakfast, then that'll give me time to tie these up also. Although, I am selling these at 20 of them for $100. Sorry, 50. 50 for 100 without the cord. Or if you want the cord, they're 150. I didn't post that up on the pinned post there, but that is the deal. If you want, if you're a jeweler and you want these to just make some jewelry, some necklaces with, you want to resell them, you want to string them yourself, you can get them for 50 for $100. And I don't know if I'm going to always be having that special, but right now for sure, during the holidays and stuff like that, we're doing this. Mushroom after mushroom after mushroom. All right, only one more for this color. And then we'll have 25, 30, 35, 40, 10 more after that. Cool. Thank you, making them fast and they're looking good. It's great sun today, right? It is beautiful. Right, and yeah, people let their ego get the best of them. Yeah, they feel embarrassed. Oh, I'm going to a free food line. I don't want anyone to see me out there. Like, we just put a mask on. We're living in a day that you can wear a mask, put your glasses on. No one's got to see you at all. Cover up yourself with a beanie, wear a hoodie, wear some big old baggy clothing. No one will recognize you. Right? If you're worried about that, or you're worried about appearance, worried about ego, it's all right. Just swallow the ego, swallow the pride. Go get yourself fed. Make sure you're getting good, healthy foods. Right? They got some, like I said, they got all the cookies and all the sweets and everything. But every once in a while, they'll have like gluten-free sweets and stuff like that, dairy-free, some stuff. But yeah, it all depends on your choice. You can choose the heavy sweetened foods and highly heavily processed foods, or you can go with the more organic looking foods, right? Like when I choose my produce from the free food line, I'm looking for the label with the number 9 on it, because those are all um, those ones are all the organic ones. If they're number 4, those are made with GMOs. If they're number 3, it could be GMO or not. There's different numbers for them, but number 9 is organic. So you want to look for that organic label on your produce, on your fruits and veggies, and things like that. People don't know about that number coding either. I try to share that out all the time. So you see why I make these and sell them for $5 each? You understand? I bust these out so quickly. I feel like if I ask for more, I don't want to be like these people who are just trying to like make as much money as they possibly can off of each other, right? Like, we are all in this together. We're all community. Like, let's pass the deal on to each other, right? If everyone, instead of like trying to overcharge each other, they started to pass the deal on to each other, then we can turn this around, right? But banks aren't going to do that to homeowners and people who own businesses and property and things like that. And that's where the problem lies, is with these banks. the corporations that own and run the corporation of the United States of America, right? They run it all. But if we stopped banking, what would happen? What would happen if we all just shut down our bank accounts? That's always something I wonder. Would it really do anything? Because there'd still be the 1% that would keep their bank accounts open and then would just run everything, right? They would still control it all. So it's like, how would it really work to do those kind of drastic measures? I don't know. Dang it. This tripod got in the way and I trapped some air in this one. I guess one out of how many, got to get a little bit of air in there from time to time. That's the trick, is not wanting to trap air. If you trap a little bit of air, you just want to make sure that you melt it down as best as you can. So then the air bubble is more rounded inside there and doesn't have like a bunch of weird like kind of points. Like usually an air bubble is round, but in glass, because it's solidified, an air bubble can be formed flat, can be formed pointy and jagged until you get the molecules going, heated up, then that air bubble can round itself out. Yeah, I think it's a good price, $5 each. Drop them down to $2 without the cord, because it takes me at least a minute and a half to just tie them up, to cut the cords all to the same length, to do the little slip knot on them. That takes some time, energy, and also each roll of cord, you know, I have to buy them at wholesale. But if I were to purchase them each, like 1 yard, I think they sell 1 yard for like 60 cents or something like that, $1. So, you know, you got to take into consideration, like when they're selling it to you for that, you got to then double or triple the value there. I'm not going to charge $3 for a cord, or $1.80 if it's only 60 cents for the yard. And I don't know if that's by the yard or by the foot. That might even be by the foot. But I purchased the 100-yard spools, and I can make about 75 necklaces from each spool. So I got to buy a lot of these. So, you know, if I'm tying up 50 of them, I need at least 2 spools. I'm glad that I started offering these without the cord, so people can then just start tying them up on their own now. So there's a lot of jewelers, there's a lot of bead shops that they don't need the cord, you know, they just want the jewelry itself. You know, I'm going to actually see if my local supplier who I get the cord from, he's giving me a really awesome deal. I'm not going to say what kind of deal he's giving me. I can go online and get them for $12 for that spool, but then I have to pay like $7 shipping per spool. And here I don't have to worry about the shipping costs. But I'm paying pretty much the same amount as if I were to order them like that. So but yeah, he's giving me a good deal, and I wonder if he would trade me, just straight up trade me out some of these for some of those. A little bit of this for a little bit of that. Bam! They're coming out. There's the 5th one there. Now I just got to make, right, so 25, 30, 35. This would make 40. So now I got to make 10 more. Well, 9 officially. Got to get that light color there. Maybe we'll do, I got to think what color. Probably a cobalt. Cobalt blue is always good. And green. I don't have any green in here. So maybe finish them off with cobalt blue and green. So I think we have yellow and white, and there's orange, we got red. Pretty much got most of the rainbow colors. We just don't have the blue and the green. We got the purples. It's interesting. These are getting a little bit bigger than those. I think I'm melting it a little bit more. Yeah, barter is always nice. I actually run 505 Barter Club on Facebook. So you can go to facebook.com/505 Barter Club, and there isn't really any action or activity there. A lot of people, they try to just post things up for sale, and I have to just constantly just delete it, and like, come on guys, we're trading here. We're not trying to sell things. Trying to teach people about the value of the barter system, getting away from the middleman and just trade goods and services for goods and services, right? And if it's not something that you need, well, maybe you can acquire things and put it in a box. So then you have a bunch of items to trade for other people and be like, hey, oh, you need this? Well, I've got some of those, and then you got a whole entire a whole inventory of barter items. I've got a box of barter items here. I got some cool stuff. I got the whole season of Friends on a VHS and DVD or something. I don't know if it's VHS. It's like, does anyone even have VHS anymore? I know there's collectors out there, though, that want that whole thing. I got some cool shoes in there. I don't know what I got in. I don't even know what I got in there. There's all kinds of stuff. I just keep adding things. Just throw more stuff and more stuff in there. One of these days I'll do a video and show you guys all the items that I have that's up for barter. You ever heard of the red paperclip? The story of the red paperclip? That's a cool story. Oh, dang. I didn't pull any color. I had this ready to go. Here. Let's not let that heat go to waste. We'll just make one of a different color real quick. So this is like a amber purple or a purple passion. I really like using this one color to make the mushrooms because they come out with like a multitude of colors in the mushroom cap and the stem. They're really awesome. I love these ones. Any color that's got like a color changing effect like that, where they either have a reduction effect, oxidizing effect. I love that. So yeah, I'm always down to trade my glass. All my glass is up for barter. I'm always down to trade. But the story of the red paperclip, there was a guy who, I think he was like sitting at his desk one day at work, and there was a red paperclip sitting in front of him, right? And he was like, I wonder if I could trade this paperclip for something, and then trade that and just see what you can trade for a paperclip. And so I think he, like, the first trade he did, like, maybe he traded his son for like a little piece of artwork or something that his son made, right? Some little thing at school. And then someone wanted that, so they traded him for something else. And then, like, I don't know, maybe he got like a ballpoint pen or something like that. And then he traded the pen for something else, and he traded for something else. Eventually, he kept trading up and trading up. He got like concert tickets. He went backstage to go see, like, I don't know who it was. I don't know if it was like Ozzy or someone like that. But he kept on trading up and trading up. Eventually, he got himself a vehicle, and then he got himself a home, starting with the red paperclip, all the way trading up and leading to a home. So I basically started that same journey years ago with the drop. I wanted to see what one drop of water would lead to. So I traded one of my water drops, the drop of water, and we traded it up and traded it up and traded it up to the point to where I've now traded up to about I think it was like about $150 worth of art supplies, which I ended up taking out some of the art supplies and using them and stuff. So then it became like $100 value. And so one drop of water, which I sell for $5 each, eventually has become or created the value of over $100 now. And so now I have artwork or art supplies that I can now trade out. And anytime that I ever want to trade myself, like I said, I started using some of these art supplies. I can always trade myself out for something else that I may have. You know, I have a lot of items. I have bicycles right now that are worth $200, so I can bring that $150 up to $200 trade, and then put a bicycle out there now that I can then see what someone would trade for one of my bicycles. You know, so it's really fun to do the barter and everything. And so 505 Barter Club kind of has that going as well. But like I said, there's no action there. People don't know or don't want to trade. It's such a weird thing. They just stuck with the dollar. Stuck with the dollar. Just let me just serve this almighty dollar. Right? The almighty dollar. Remember that Simpsons, when Homer Simpson folded the Mad magazine? It's supposed to say the almighty dollar, but he folded it wrong. It was all the almighty dollar. What? Ha 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 ha. And he started laughing. The almighty dollar. Alright, so let's pull. We need some cobalt. And then that light. Where's the light purple? Let's see if I can pull that light purple. Oh, here it is. Bam. Oh, it's all ready to go. Okay, good. Alright, so we'll do this light purple next. And then we'll do cobalt. Is this cobalt right here? Yeah, okay. Cobalt's all ready to go too, almost. Number 9, okay, that's good to know. I didn't know. Yeah, the number 9 is very important. You get your glass from El Paisano. It's a Mexican-style store, bakery, butcher shop. They have glass cheaper. Oh, yeah. See, and that's the thing, too. I got out of that whole game and business of trying to compete with everyone, because now they're bringing in stuff from like China, Mexico, India, and we cannot compete with those prices. Like, unless people are into like the brand name, right? If you want to get all American, handmade, local made glass from a specific maker like Gardeno Glass from Dan the Glassman, then you're going to be paying a pretty penny for it, right? Like, just because you see something in one of them corner shops for 20 bucks don't mean I'm going to be sitting here trying to slave away to make something for cheaper. Like, hey, can you make this for a little bit less for me? People always do that. It's like, no, I'm going to charge you more because it's handmade and I've been doing this for 30 years. It's like you want one of those little, you want like a VW Golf, or do you want like a Mercedes? Like, what you want? What you want? But yeah, it's amazing that the prices are like that these days. And yeah, that's why I make jewelry. So there was a time back in 2010 when I created the world's first glass drip tips for e-cigs for electronic cigarettes. And I put those out on the market first. That's why they were the world's first. Not that I made them first in the world, but they were the market. They were on the market as the world's first drip tips. People still try to argue with me about that. I'm like, whatever, it is what it is. I got them out there to the world first. So, I was making those and selling those for like $15, $20. They were $12.99 on the ecig.com. I don't know if he still sells these or not. But then China, they started selling them for $5, I think. $5.99 or something like that at retail. I'm like, wait, I wholesale them for $5. I'm done. I was like, I'm just going back to making other things, man. Screw that. I'm not going to try to compete with China. They're retailing them for my wholesale. You know, their wholesale is probably like 50 cents or whatever it is, right? It might be low quality. Yeah, that's the thing, is each one wasn't made to an accurate fitting. So mine were snugly fit, theirs were wobbly, right? But people don't know when they're buying things online. They want to save a buck all the time. That's why there's all kinds of counterfeit goods and things like that, you know. All these bags, purses, clutches, all these things, the shoes, the snapbacks, all of the things, the jerseys, all kinds of counterfeit stuff. So yeah, that's why I just, you know, I make custom quality, affordable glass. Functional. It's affordable. It's not cheap. It's not bargain price. But I do some pretty awesome pricing. You know, for a one-man operation, you know, I don't know, like, I probably have big factories that could barely compete with my bulk pricing, right? Who else sells these for $2 like that? 50 for 100. I would never want to bring them down any lower than that. And I used to make these a lot quicker. I think my arm has slowed me down. The numbness in my fingers, which right now, I don't have any more numbness. I kind of like had to work through all that. Sometimes I've learned I just got to work through it. When I first wake up, my arms are just like sore and all messed up. Oh yeah, I should probably let you guys go, because you know what? I saw my wife awake and she probably needs my help getting some things all together and ready. I can always come back and finish some of these up. I was just hoping to get 10 more done, but that's going to take another at least 20 minutes or so. So I got to go check on the family, make sure that breakfast is going to get served here soon. And you guys have a beautiful day. It is a wonderful Sunday here in Albuquerque. I believe in Santa Fe and Santa Fe as well. Yeah. Thanks so much for tuning in, 505 USA. I appreciate you. Or Delta, what is that? Delta Peace? The Almighty Triangle. Alright, you guys. Thank you for tuning in and watching. I appreciate you all. Love and blessings. You guys have a beautiful day. I may come back and just stream just for fun and just share more stories and things like that. But got to get a few more of these done. Got to keep the money rolling. All right, I'm out. You guys have a good one.